I played basketball pretty much my whole life. I had Jesus in my life. He was there, he was present, but he wouldn't be my main focus. After college, I was able to continue on and with my professional career. 10 years, a whole decade, overseas mainly, anywhere from Spain to Russia to Israel and in between. I very much enjoyed it. I lived for it. The idols in my life during that time in my life was definitely money for sure, prestige, like fame, feeling importance. Those things were running my life in different capacities at different times, but they were the reasons that I was doing things, right? They were the reasons that I would train so hard. They were the reasons that I would want to get to a higher level of basketball. You know, my family life was a little bit let down, right? I always was putting myself down for my career. Never thought I was making enough, or I wasn't on a good enough team or getting enough mentions. My foundation was shaken when those things would come up in those situations in my life because they weren't rooted in Christ before. And eventually I realized that my wife is wiser than myself, and we retired. We moved back after 10 years playing professionally. We moved back to the US permanently. We were in a small group before, but since bouncing back and forth overseas, we never really were connected. We said, hey, you know what, we're gonna try to get plugged in. And she really wanted that down for where we were gonna live. And that really brought us to a group of men and women that are forever now, for sure gonna be brothers and sisters in Christ, that will always be a part of our life. The biggest change in my life would be that I took myself off that throne and put God there and myself at the foot of it. So instead of just having him floating around and being one of the aspects of my life, he's the center of my life, and I filter my decisions and my thoughts through that. And understanding that, I think, has led me to a place that I want to help everyone understand that foundational root that they need to live through my mistakes, kind of, so to speak, right? So they can understand, hey, this is what God says about us, and without Jesus in our life, those things are going to make us fall and stumble at some point. Might not be right away, but there was times in my life that it did let me down, and I realized eventually that I can't put my faith in those. Those false idols that were controlling my life are definitely still around. There's a temptation that I have to die to on a daily basis. The more that I constantly think about putting him on the throne of my life, and those are just aspects of it, keeps me in check and keeps my life balanced in the correct way. The most important thing to me today is Christ, and honestly raising my family up and trying to bring as many people as I can with me to heaven.